Hey retro tech friends, and welcome to another edition of Dave's Retro Video Lab, the show where I check out old video gear from yesteryear. Not long ago, I had purchased a Canon VC50 Pro brochure, and in the brochure they had all sorts of neat fun little things, but one of the items that caught my attention was this illustration of a guy kind of laying back in his 70s lounge chair as he was editing footage with two VR-30s. And I thought, hey, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and try to recreate that right here in the lab? So what I have here are two Canon VR-30 portable VCRs. This is our playback deck, and down here is our record deck. And here I have a Canon VE-10 video editing controller. So what's interesting here is if you throw in the Canon VC50 Pro plus the two VR-30s plus the VE-10 edit controller, if you bought all this stuff back in 1986, it would have set you back about just a little over $3,000. If you went out and bought that stuff today, new, it would cost you about $8,000. So the reality is, Mr. Illustration Man had to be a really rich dude to buy all that stuff just to edit his kids' lousy soccer videos. So now that we have eBay, by all means, it didn't cost me $8,000, but it wasn't exactly cheap. Let's get started. Just to give you some basics here as to what's going on. I have some football footage that I recorded late last year with my Panasonic PV-460D. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take our playback tape. We'll go ahead and put it in the playback VCR. I have already put my record tape in the record deck just to save a little bit of time. And what I have done with that record tape is I have laid down black with time code over the entire tape. I did that so when I make my edit, or my first edit, I will see how what I would call frame inaccurate the VR-30 is. I'm guessing it's going to slip a couple frames. So now that we have that all set up, what I have to do is I need to rewind the playback deck and the record deck and then set the tape counter to 0 for both decks. The reason why is I have already logged the footage that's on my source reel with the tape counter numbers for the different plays that I want to record onto my highlight reel. So let's go ahead and rewind both the playback deck and the record deck. Okay, great. The record deck landed on 0000, great. My player actually also landed on 0000, which is great. What would do though, if they slipped a little bit, I would just hit the counter reset button for the playback deck and the counter reset button for the recorder. So what I want to do is I want to put the recorder, I want to stop it down, and then I'm going to go to the playback deck and I'm going to hit play, and we're going to go ahead and put up this here. Okay, now one thing I forgot is that there's about 500 units on the tape counter that I have to go to get to the first shot that I want to grab. So what you can do is stop down. I want to address 0844. I want to go right to that tape counter. So what I'm going to do is plug in, where is it, 0844, and then I'm going to hit search. So now the playback deck is going to essentially fast forward to 0844. Okay, it's getting close to 0844. There you go. It's starting to, there you go, perfect. It's just starting to just guide it in. So we're pretty darn close. So why don't we go ahead and play the footage and let's see what we got. Ah, we're close. Okay, good. I'm going to pause the footage, and why don't we go ahead and turn up the volume here. All right, let's hit play. Or actually, gotta do that. There we go. Okay, so I need to go back a little bit, so I'm just going to rewind. And let's go ahead and just play. All right, so there's the play. I'm going to go back a little bit. Okay. All right, here we go. Now, I'm just going to move this a little bit forward. Okay, so now we have our first shot. We have basically it queued up to where we want it to start. There is no setting an in and no setting an out. You basically queue it up to the frame that you want. Now what we're going to do is set up our record deck to set up the endpoint for basically our destination here. So I'm going to hit play, and now the heads are going to kick in on the record deck, and you're going to see my fancy little leader here. This is from Adobe Premiere. Now, just a reminder, I put down time code over black just to see how accurate or inaccurate my edits are going to be. So there's the what I call fake time code. Now I want this to start at about a minute straight up, because a lot of times with tape there's a lot of dropout in the beginning of the tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fast forward to 1 minute on our record deck. Oh, we're getting close, and I'm going to park it, oh, maybe a little bit more. All right, sorry for the jitteriness. I know the record deck has to be calibrated, so I apologize for that. But I'm going to go ahead and walk that in. Great. Now it's at 1 minute. Perfect. So what I do now is I switch over to the playback deck, and I hit the video and audio dub button. Now what's going to happen is it's going to queue up about a second back, play, and it should start recording. And what I'll do here is I'm going to wait until where the play ends. Good. Oh. Great. So it's right there. I'm going to hit stop. And now I'm going to take my recorder. I'm going to hit play. Oop, sorry. And now I'm going to take my recorder, and I'm going to rewind it. Let's see how accurate or inaccurate. Oh, look at that. We already got a flash frame. Let's play it. I'm just going to jog it through. All right, so I'm going to walk it in frame by frame. Here we go. Where did it happen? Ah, at 22. So what you saw there was the record deck actually went back about 8 frames and started recording at that point. So you have a slippage of about 8 frames. So you got to kind of keep that in mind when you make your edit. So that's really good to know. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit play. Actually, I'm sorry, you hit pause to start it playing again. So we're going to watch the play. This is our record deck. All right, he kicks the ball. All right, and the guy's down right about there. I'm going to stop it. Ooh, I might have caught it right there. So now I'm going to stop it to drop the heads on the record deck. So now we're going to address the next play. The next play happens to be at 0868. So now we are going to just fast forward to that particular play. You can use the search feature, and this is helpful because you can, it's like a shuttle control. So I switched over to the player. Now we see 0850, and we want to go to 0868. So let's fast forward. This won't take long. All right, so now that it's paused, we are just going to walk it into 0868. I'm just going to hit pause. Here it comes. Sorry about the jitteriness. So I'm a knucklehead, and when I filmed this stuff, I did not put nearly enough pad at the head of many of these shots. So what I'm going to do, so we don't get these flash frames, I'm probably going to start it here instead of wasting time going back and forth, because I simply want to show you how these edits take place. So I have the beginning of my next play. It's queued up, ready to go. So now we're going to go back to the record tape, switch to record, hit play. The heads will kick in, and then we're going to rewind it a little bit. Here we go. So if I'm not mistaken, the kid hits the ground. Now I know I stopped it and didn't give it enough pad when we were making the edit. So I'm going to make the edit right about there. And don't forget, this deck is probably going to slip back about 8 frames. So you know what? Let's do this. Let's go forward a few frames. I'd be willing to bet, right there, you see where the hash is? We probably won't even see this because when I make the edit, it's going to go back past this. I'm kind of guesstimating here. So we're going to go back to the player. We're going to hit video, audio, dub. It's going to cue the 2 tapes back. Here we go. All right. And I'm going to get ready to hit dub end. So I'm going to give it some pad this time to help myself out. Good. So I'm going to hit dub end. That should be plenty enough time. I'm going to go back to the recorder. I'm going to hit play. And I'm going to rewind. Now I want to show you one function here that's pretty cool. So what they have is sort of a shuttle control. What you would do here is if you hit slow, you can adjust the speed at how fast the clip plays in its shuttle mode, or you can even slow it down to now it's really going frame by frame, or you can speed it up. There we go. So I'm going to wait for him to get up. Actually, right there's a good edit point, right where that kid walks, right in front of the camera, right there. Okay, I'm going to now drop the heads on the record deck because I have to now see my playback deck through the record machine. So I'm going to switch to player, hit play, and now we're going to go to the next shot. Now I have 0868, that's what we just recorded. Now I'm going to move on to 1212. Now that's quite a ways away. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop my playback deck and I'm going to turn down the volume here because I will get sort of this buzzing noise. It's kind of like a feedback a little bit. So what I'm going to do is now take 1212, it's a quarterback play, and I'm going to address it here on the playback deck by jumping to that number. Now what you have to do is you have to stop down the playback deck because the way this is set up is that when you address the number 1212, and then you just hit search. Now it's going to jump to that number. It can do it quickly by dropping the heads and then just fast forwarding to that number. So here we go. We're almost there. Good. We're really close. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and then we will walk it into 1212. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to turn the volume back up. Great. We're going to rewind it. All right. So remember, 1, 2, I got to go back a little bit further even. Here we go. Let's go ahead and watch. All right. All right. I know it's about there. I'm going to go back a little bit, and I'm going to use that. Here we go. We're going to use the search function. So I'm going to hit slow, and then remember I can fast forward this. We want to get to 1212. All right. You know what? Let me just do this. Pause. All right, I think we're almost there. All right, here. All right, so we're there. We're at the beginning of the play. Again, I'm sorry it's jittery. So we already set up the record deck. Now we have the playback deck. They are both set up. All I have to do once again is hit audio, video, dub. Okay, maybe not. Oh, you know what? I have to find the out to find the in of the next play like a dummy. I thought I did it, but I guess I didn't. So here we go. Good. And I'm going to do it right there. Okay, now I can go to audio, video, dub. And here we go. There's the start of the play. Good. It's actually a good play here, I believe. All right, so he catches the ball. Good. Now I'm going to dub end. Okay. Now I'm going to switch to my recorder. I'm going to hit play. Actually. And then I'm going to rewind. Actually, let's see how that edit went. All right, so here we go. So then the kid, oh, it's not too bad. Oh, and we got the little rainbow lines. So there's more problems there. But at any rate, he's going to throw the ball. The kid catches it. Boom. And he's done, right? So we're going to pause right there. And again, just a reminder, I have to stop down the record deck, drop the heads, so I can see the playback deck through the output of the recorder. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to go to my playback deck. All right. Now my next play is at, let's see. Oh, I think I ran out of plays. Let's see this play here. Let's just watch it, see what we got. Oh yeah, this is a good play. All right. So here's our next play. It's 1, 2, 2, 4. So we're going to go past here. All right. So I'm going to start it about there. It's at 1, 2, 2. It's enough. Actually, let me just go a little bit more forward. Great. So everybody's ready to go. I'm going to go to my recorder and I'm going to hit play. All right. And I'm going to rewind it. So once again, I'm going to set my, there he goes, he caught the ball, he gets up and he does his thing. Now I'm going to go to the player and I'm going to hit video, audio, dub. They're going to go back. And good. Here we go. This is a good shot too, actually. There he goes, and I think he goes, and there we go, excellent. And he does a little victory dance or something, boom, okay. And he greets his friends, and then we go dub end. Okay, now what we want to do is stop down the record deck, put it in E to E, go to the player, and find our next shot. How about 0725? So what we're going to do is we're going to stop down. I'm going to turn the volume down here so I don't get that annoying feedback. And now I'm going to go to 0725. So we just go 0725 and then we hit search. And this will just take a few minutes. A couple notes about this. You know, I just kind of bought this stuff, put it together, no time to have somebody fix it or calibrate it. So I apologize for some of, you know, the stuff that's going on here. It's probably pretty annoying to watch. But I have to tell you, doing this has been really fun. It just reminds me of how good we have it now. Okay, so we got to 0724, so we're pretty close. Let's go ahead and hit play. And what do we got? Okay, it looks like we're at the start of a play. Let's go ahead and check this out to make sure it's indeed the right play. I'm going to turn up the volume. Good. Ah, good interception. Okay, great. Well, not good for the team who had the ball. So we're going to go back. Okay, and again, I'm just ballparking this. All right, so they're ready to go. We're going to go back to our recorder, engage the heads. All right, and we're going to rewind it. Okay, so remember the guy does his little victory jump and he runs off and we're going to stop it right there. All right, so we have our in on the record deck. We have our in on the playback deck. Now it is time, once again, to make the edit. Here we go. By the way, it was a lot of fun using the Panasonic PV-460D to film this. I have to say, the electronic image stabilization did a great job. It was actually a lot of fun to film this. It wasn't too shaky. Okay, so they're going to do their little victory thing. Good, good, good. And stop down. Okay, oh, we have to do dub end. Sorry, forgot. So we're going to do dub end. Now we're going to go to the playback deck. We're going to stop that, and we're going to hit play. And let's find one more shot. And then what we'll do is after we make the next edit, then we'll see basically our little highlight reel that we have put together. There might be another play here. Let's say maybe we'll try 0642. I don't know if the shot is any good or not. But here, once again, we will use the counter. We'll stop down our playback deck, and we will go to 0642, and then hit search. You can see how much time you can save by writing down or logging your footage. It makes it so much easier to quickly address the shots that you want as you go along with your edit. All right, so let's take a look at what this shot looks like. It might be total dookie. We're going to find out here. So what was it? 0642, right? So let's go back. Uh-oh. Oh, you know what? Our recorder is probably... There we go. Okay, let's hit rewind. All right, here we go. Again, I'm going to park it right about there. We're going to go to our recorder, engage the heads. And we're going to rewind it. So what is it? He makes a little jumpy here. All right, good, good, good. He's all happy. Good. Now, we're going to go back to our playback deck. I think we already have the endpoint. I think we set that already. All we do now, again, is video, audio, dub. This was a beautiful day, by the way. Perfect day to film a football game. Here we go. There's the shot. Oh, and he drops the ball. But okay, fine. For the purposes of this edit, it's fine. All right, so now I'm going to hit dub end. Okay, we are going to go back to our playback deck, and we're going to go ahead and engage that. And let's see what we got. We're going to rewind. So why don't we go ahead and let's see basically our, I guess, 4 or 5 plays put together and see how that all looks after our very clunky edit. Yeah, I didn't realize, boy, these things really slip quite a bit. And we had a flash frame too. So again, it's not perfect. You know, back then, hey, just to have this set up, anybody'd be happy. So here we go. Here's our first shot. Good. So I can only imagine this would save somebody a lot of time when you want to cut together highlights. Oh, that was a pretty good edit. That was pretty good. Here we go. He runs down the field, right? Somebody pushes him out of bounds, I think. Or no, he gets tackled. And let's see. And I believe, yeah, not bad. So this is looking pretty good so far. Again, if you want to put up with the frame inaccurate editing, it's actually really fun. I'm having a good time doing this. Okay. All right, great. So this actually worked out quite well. Now, one thing I have to explain here is there's some hocus pocus going on behind the scenes here. There was something in the brochure that was not shown in that guy's setup that I needed in order for this system to work, and it had to do with the audio. What I discovered was the audio output of the playback deck is a headphone out. So there's a little 1/4-inch headphone output, and the inputs of the record deck are these 2 mic inputs. So I'm like, okay, I got an adapter, and I went out of the playback deck and into the mic inputs using the headphone jack. And what did I get? This overmodulated audio. And I'm like, but I thought those 2 things would have been like the same voltage, but maybe not. Then I also thought maybe it had to do with balanced and unbalanced audio. So what I had to get that was not in the brochure was a small little Mackie mixer, which allowed me to adjust the audio level going into the record deck. And it was mission critical that I had the Mackie mixer in order to record decent audio going into my record deck. So I'm not sure why that was happening. If you know why, please leave a comment explaining what it is that I did wrong. Now, just so you know, these decks, you could have purchased a tuner sled, and on that tuner sled would have been 2 RCA audio inputs, which would have allowed you to take the headphone jack out audio and go into those RCA inputs, and I think those would have had the correct voltage, and everything would have worked out okay. But I recreated what the guy had in the picture. For those of you tech geeks that are curious how I recorded the footage to HD or upconverted it to HD, I am using a RetroTink 5X Pro that is hooked up to a Video Devices video recorder. They don't make this thing anymore. They haven't made a video recorder in a long time, but it's built like a tank and it totally works. And you know what? I think this is pretty cool. Mind you, I don't think I would normally do this, but I really wanted to show this to you and demonstrate how one would edit back in 1986. So that wraps up another edition of our show. I want to thank you for watching. Take care, and we'll see you soon.